Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here, giving you breaking daily updates related to the Sebastian Rogers case. This is going to blow your mind, guys. I've been personally covering the case of Sebastian Rogers, a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from Hendersonville, Tennessee. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, came out and told their stories in this interview about what transpired related to the disappearance of their 15-year-old son. Katie, Sebastian's mother, describes the day before he disappeared, Sunday, February 25th. They went to BJ's, he got a colossal popcorn, he was just a very happy, jovial young man, and they came home, put some snacks away, and then they went to a local bowling alley, and next to the bowling alley was a steakhouse where they ate. After they ate, they loaded up and went home. He took out the garbage, and the rest is history. He goes to bed at 9 p.m. Mom goes to bed at midnight. She awakes at 6 a.m. to wake Sebastian up as she normally does, and he's gone. Christopher Proudfoot states that he was not even in the area at the time that Sebastian left the home, that he was many miles away as he was working in Memphis and staying in his camper in Mississippi. A lot of people watching this case unfold became very, very skeptical of both Katie and Christopher Proudfoot's story about what happened leading up to Sebastian's disappearance. Many people noticed the deep abrasion scratches in some areas looking like bite marks on Christopher Proudfoot's arms some 8 days after Sebastian disappeared. Seth Rogers, which is Sebastian's biological father, decided to start doing some ground searches and raised money on a GoFundMe page to aid those efforts. Christopher Proudfoot threatened Sebastian's father in a lawsuit related to the GoFundMe page and also the fact that Seth appeared to make the other side of the family, look bad. Many people went out searching for Sebastian Rogers, and the one thing that was missing out of all the efforts volunteers put forth was Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. And when people asked them why they weren't out searching for their very son that went missing from their home, they told people that it was because law enforcement told them to stay home. However, that very evening, they were seen at a barbecue joint outside of the home enjoying a dinner. Meanwhile, never once searching for their very son that they say they care about and want to come home. Media was in an uproar, demanding answers from both Katie and Christopher Proudfoot why they're not helping with any searches for their son. And what was their response? They got in their camper, packed it up, and took off. Sebastian's mom and stepfather took off to a campground in Mississippi where they returned home for a short while and then returned back to this campground. Right now, it appears that the camper is still at this mobile home park or RV park with Chris's truck, but we have confirmed Chris is not staying there and has installed a camera on the camper. There are so many people curious as to why there's a camera on this camper, but not on their home before Sebastian Rogers walked out that door. The sheriff was very cordial at the beginning of this search for Sebastian when he truly believed both Katie and Chris Proudfoot were deemed innocent and had no culpability in the disappearance of their son. If you look at the newest interview Nick Barris has with this very sheriff, you see a much different demeanor. Does this case anger me? You darn right. Does it make me want to almost lose my mind? You darn tootin'. Chris and Katie have a lot of explaining to do because what I just laid out for you is only a minor, small amount of the case against them.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Betty shit show.
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
Wake up. It's Monday morning. It's Monday morning. Hopefully some of you guys are getting ready. Some of you guys are already at work, and you guys just need a little tidbit of information. We turned heads last night. I don't know how many of you guys were up. I did a live at midnight last night, and it didn't end until 1 a.m. And it was about these recent abuse allegations potentially being inaccurate or not totally correct. I had an opportunity. I was on Justin on TikTok. He did a live last night with Tony Mathis. And then Tony Mathis is the new spokesperson for Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father. Sebastian's the 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been seen or heard from since. Give me just a second. Let me cue this up. And so we had an opportunity last night with Tony Mathis to finally, ask the question. These new allegations of abuse have come out against Chris and Katie. And they, in all fairness, whether you want to beat me up, and we're going to go through some of the comments in here or not, the truth of the matter is none of that has been corroborated or verified. Some of that information came from third parties, and nobody bothered reaching out to those third parties to corroborate that information. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm saying it may be false, and it may be true. So if it's maybe false and maybe true, what do we call those? We call those rumors, because we don't know. We can't corroborate it. And I want you guys to hear what Tony says. We're going to talk about Tony. We're going to get into the topic of this pressure washer, the mattress, the abuse allegations, and whether or not they can be corroborated. And I think that some of that can, it's just people have failed to do so. And then we're also going to discuss why we heard from neighbors at the beginning of this case saying that they had no clue anything was going on, yet we're hearing that these outbursts outside of their home were a regular occurrence. That you can't have it both ways. And so I trust the people that were on the newscast with their face on the camera, with a microphone in their face, talking to reporters. I believe those people when this case broke. I believe what they had to say. Now we have 6 months later, and all of a sudden we have this child sleeping on a mattress in the garage being sprayed with a pressure cleaner, but it didn't break any skin. I think I don't want people putting the pressure cleaner to the test, because I'm telling you, my cousin was using a pressure cleaner. She ran it over her foot by accident, and it sliced her whole foot open. She had to have stitches. I don't know if she had to have staples or stitches, but she had to have stitches to close the laceration that was caused by this pressure cleaner. And people were talking about the tips. Again, I'm not putting the theory to the test, whether it hurts or whether it breaks skin. Either way, it is most likely that Sebastian would have had to at least see a doctor. I just don't know. And somebody brought up, well, maybe it wasn't a pressure cleaner. Maybe it was just a hose with a sprayer on it. And that very well may be as well. But again, we're putting hypotheticals in and trying to turn it as fact. And that's where my problem comes in, is because the information we're talking about, it's either factual or it's our opinion or rumor or speculation. And it really upsets me because this particular content creator, in all fairness, had an opportunity to do a little fact finding and ended up going through this person's interview again and talking to her audience as if it was fact, because this alleged neighbor called into her show, like we're going to have here. You see the number up here, right? We're going to have call-ins. When they call and say, hey, I'm Lee from Alabama, does that necessarily mean that they're Lee from Alabama? What if they call and say, I'm Barney Rubbles and I'm your next door neighbor? Let me tell you all about Bullhorn Betty's lifestyle. Right? I can tell you I don't have a Barney Rubble that lives near me. But these are the kinds of things that do happen. Now, in all fairness, I did hear the call-in, and I did believe that the call-in was speaking what they believed to be true. However, 6 months later, older people, this is probably the most exciting thing that has gone on. You know, this neighbor even told us that Sebastian, they called Sebastian, he called Sebastian Katie's artard, right? Artard. And so now he's talking about this boy being his son. So we have a lot of questions. We have a massive amount of questions related to this case. We have a massive amount of questions related to these new allegations. And I just want to caution people, because Chris and Katie don't need these new allegations to make them look bad. They already look bad. We already believe that there was abuse inside that home because of some statements that Chris Proudfoot made himself, such as if he didn't clean his room, they would go in there with a garbage bag and throw everything in the garbage bag and take it out to the garbage. That to me is emotional. That kind of punishment would work for somebody like me. I don't know if that type of punishment would work for an autistic boy. So every time that they kept trying to enable or engage more discipline, Sebastian would have more and more issues, such as bowel issues or bathroom issues. And that was what people are saying happened, is that he was using the bathroom in his bed and that he was being forced to sleep out in the garage as punishment. Those are some heavy allegations that you would have thought would have been leaked way up front. I mean, people posting, that's how we find out most of this stuff, is because people have information. They don't want to be brought into the case, so they go to places and post their information anonymously. This is the first we've ever heard of it. This literally came out of left field. And we are meant to, we're supposed to believe every bit of this. No questions asked. And if we question it, this is why people don't come forward, right? I'm a perfect believer that we do not need to be picking people apart, picking their life apart, okay? Like, people are talking about the investigator, Heather Cohen, stepping away from this case. That woman had her half-naked body strewn about the internet. Who the hell wants to be in a case when people are doing crap like that? And people are on the sidelines rooting them on to do it. It makes me sick. It's inappropriate. It has nothing to do with this case. Nobody's past defines them. Period. Nobody's. I don't give a shit if this man did something bodily injury-wise 20 years ago. I don't give a rat's patootie. What I care about is he involved in this case for the right reasons? Is he trying to help, and will he produce results? Those are the only things I care about. Why? Because we have a 15-year-old boy that's missing. And anybody that can help with that, I'm all for. You don't need to have a PhD. You don't need to have a certificate. I can tell you that I saw him for an hour and a half on Justin on TikTok's live here on YouTube, and he seemed like a really good guy. A really, really, really good guy. So I want to go ahead and put this up. I want you guys to hear it. This is about the abuse allegations.
Wants to ask.
This is the first
I did see one
time
actually earlier.
This is the first time I've been able to remotely corroborate the information related to this case. I don't know who else has even tried to corroborate the information that was put out there by this particular creator as fact. As fact. People are talking about this pressure cleaner in this mattress as fact. Not a speculation, not a rumor, and not an opinion. They're saying it's fact. I'm just saying we're fair here. And Chris and Katie have enough factual information that make them look like shit. We don't need to be adding additional stuff that's uncorroborated. We need to corroborate this information. If it's true, I'd like to know. But based on how it's presented right now and the fact we have no third person or fourth person coming forward with these allegations of this event happening in their very front yard, it makes me question. Okay? Because it was outside. Why couldn't the neighbor to the right call in? Why couldn't the neighbor to the left call in? Why couldn't the neighbor directly across the street call in? No, what was vetted, Cassie, is the fact that that person lived where they lived and was in that neighborhood. That is what was corroborated. That's it. Vetted and planned. No, that's incorrect. If you go back, that person called in to Brooks' show, and Brooks told the person on the other end, I'd like to talk to you about this a little bit more. Can I call you back tonight or tomorrow or something like that? And then they continued to go on with the conversation. That was up at the very front. So this person called into her show, and she ended up calling them back, from my understanding. Now, if I'm inaccurate about that, correct me. I'm sure you will. And Brooks is more than welcome to correct me as well, you know, because I'm not coming down on her. I'm just saying we have not seen any corroboration. I'm not willing to take, okay, so this is a neighbor. So it's a neighbor. He's talking about things that happened outside that home, and there's only one person in that neighborhood talking about them. There has to be another person that saw these things that can corroborate this neighbor's statements. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the corroboration. Okay, we can vet the person and say, yes, it is accurate. That is the person in that community, Cassie. So, again, he is who he says he is. I've never disputed that. I'm saying that these allegations came out 60 days later, and nobody has corroborated or got another person to corroborate. So how this works, just to explain for people. So say somebody raises a number of things. Let's just use the abuse allegations, okay, just for the example. If somebody is raising abuse allegations and says, okay, we saw this, and then when you get down to it and you're asking them questions about what was the story behind it, and they're telling you that they were outside, that Christopher was in a grumpy mood, that a neighbor came by and said hi, and he was basically like F off. He was cleaning his camper, and Sebastian comes out of the house, and he takes the pressure cleaner and starts spraying our pressure washer, and starts cleaning and spraying Sebastian, and Sebastian starts screaming. Katie starts flying out of the house, screaming. You're talking about a massive, major argument in the front yard of their home, where people are screaming to the top of their lungs. And we have one person that is coming forward and talking about this story. And again, I'm not saying that it's untrue. I'm just saying that if it is true, there should be more people that saw this that can corroborate it as true. And that's where we don't have that. We don't have Brooks saying, yes, I called the neighbor that he said he heard this from, and they did corroborate it. This is what the neighbor said. We've never heard any of that. We've never, and I believe that if Brooks did that, she would have stated that. So what did Brooks, again, and this is a fair question and a reasonable question to ask, and it's not being insulting, it's not being mean or rude to her. And I don't want to be mean or rude to her, but I do have questions related to what actions she did to verify the informations, the allegations that this vetted neighbor stated to her. That's my point. I think we can all appreciate that. Wouldn't you Cassie, don't you want to know for a fact that these allegations are true before we're in all these chat rooms saying they are? Why do you have to focus on the pressure washer and the mattress? There's plenty of other abuses we could be talking about. This deflection last night when asked about the abuse is where the problem. It's not deflection. People brought this up. This is this is something that somebody alleged, and it's not that we're focusing on it. These are major allegations against Chris and Katie. Major allegations. And you are absolutely right, Pine Needle. They have enough. You and I are right there. They have enough right now that makes them look bad without these unsubstantiated allegations. And that's what they are. They're unsubstantiated allegations. We know that Chris hit Sebastian with a belt, and we know the Department of Children and Family Services were called. We know that case was closed, and obviously nothing happened, so the parents weren't at fault and did nothing wrong according to the Department of Children and Family Services. We know of this most recent Department of Children and Family Services allegations because Chris told us about them and told us this had nothing to do with the belt incident. This was about a statement that Sebastian told his teacher. And people are sitting here telling me not to question this neighbor or his statement because they all called this into the Department of Children and Family Services. Well, first of all, I'd like to know when they called it in, because if they called this legitimate lead in, we do not have a Department of Children and Family Services case for it. Okay? We only have the Department of Children and Family Services case for the open and active case with this most recent allegation that came from the teachers, not the neighbors. So when did the neighbors call in? I'd like to know that. I mean, I have questions here. Thank you for that statement, though, by the way, Cassie. So we're just here. I was a taped phone call. That was a taped phone call. Yeah, no, Cassie, I understand it was a taped phone call. I've got it pulled up right here. And you can clearly hear Brooks say at the very beginning, I'll call you back, and we're going to discuss this. Would you mind exploring this a little more with me? Now, I don't know if she put that in and seen this, or if that conversation kept going. I don't know. But yes, it was a taped call, but it was a taped call on one of her lives. And you can see the live if you're a member to her channel. If you're a member, Cassie, to her channel, you can go there and go to the members only live where this neighbor called in. Because you can hear her say something, and my mods can correct me, because I'm almost confident that I mean, I don't make stuff up. So I had to have heard her say, "Can I call you back?" Let me see. I mean, at the beginning, let's just see what it says. Let me just hear. Hold on, I'll put this up.
Bring May flowers. Well, how you gonna mow? My goodness. And it's not even April anymore. So calm down.
I see.
It actually has to do with the mattress. All right, Chloe. This is a lot.
Yeah, this is.
And I just saw like Chloe Jade on here, and Brooks, and I think Chloe Jade has been in our chat before, so she's more than welcome to come. I mean, like I said, I'll even put them on up here for clarification. And if they did do corroborating stuff, I just want to know what. I just want to know what.
So Chris took his mattress, Sebastian's.
Now I want you to hear this. She's not saying allegedly. She's speaking as this is factual information, okay? Now, I just want to make sure that this is noted. She's stating this as factual information. Both Nonsense and Justice know who the neighbor is. It's not a real neighbor. The info has been sent to TBI. And again, like Revival, in all fairness, we don't know if yours truth, right? Like you're making this statement. How would I verify it, right? But we put this up here. So again, she's talking about this mattress, and she's telling her audience this as truth. If you're going to come here and say this is truth, where's the supporting information for it? Where's the corroboration? Where's the second and third neighbor that saw this and can attest to this? Where are those? I just want people to caution themselves. Let's listen. And here's why. Here's why. Let me go over here. I'm going to let you listen to this. And then we'll open up the phone lines. I want you to listen to this.
I do want to ask that. I think Bullhorn Betty was asking, which is, at this point, we've all been made aware of, I'll call it alleged abuse that went on in the household. According, there are things that neighbors have said, things that Chris and Katie and Seth have said. Do you know if there's anything happening or movement with that?
I don't have about any of that. I've heard rumblings, but the only thing I'd say is that if you have a neighbor that's credible and a neighbor knows that a kid's missing, why on earth would a neighbor wait 60 days to disclose anything serious about Sebastian? I mean, I'm not saying it's BS, but
see, he's saying I'm not saying it's BS either. None of us are saying it's BS. But we have no corroboration that it's fact. And we've got a major content creator passing this stuff off as fact. We've got enough factual information that makes the Proudfoots look like shit. We don't need to be making unsubstantiated accusations against them as fact. I mean, we are supposed to be factual here. Where's the fact checking? I don't do fact checking of other channels, but in all fairness, this was a major, probably the most notable thing that's happened in this case since this case began. I mean, this is coming from left field. And I'm again not saying I'm not saying it's untrue. I'm just simply saying it did come from left field. Don't you think we need to explore it to verify the information? It doesn't seem like anybody has even verified this information. Even if he was vetted and this neighbor was vetted as being a neighbor, where's the verification of the information that that neighbor is disclosing? If this didn't happen, I don't want to accuse parents of something that they did not do when I have a plethora of stuff that they did.
I would be leaning towards it's BS, because no normal person would wait 60 days to come forward with something like that. And
when have we ever had salacious information that took this long to get out? Usually it's leaked on some form of social media anonymously, whether it's in a Facebook chat, whether it's on a Reddit post, whether it's on 4chan. This information is usually leaked. We usually start sniffing out this kind of stuff early on in the case. And you guys know it better than we do, because you guys watch all this stuff and see how we work. Again, not saying this neighbor is being dishonest. I really don't believe. When I heard the person, it sounds like they were telling the truth, their truth. Just because they're telling their truth doesn't make it factual, accurate, and correct. Thank you. Yeah, it's dangerous. Right. It's dangerous. So I think with these new allegations, I mean, these are significant. I mean, we're not talking about throwing toys away and being emotionally, shitty to a 15-year-old autistic boy. We're talking about massive, major abuse, public abuse allegations to a very private and smoke and mirror family. To me, I don't believe that they would have very many outbursts outside of their door. They seem like the kind of family that does have occasional disagreements outside, but they're fighting and their main stuff goes on inside those doors because they don't want the neighbors to know. And I've said that, from early on, because Chris is about this facade. He's about everybody thinking he's this perfect guy that he's not. So why did the neighbors come out, day 8 and say, this guy's calling Sebastian, his son, he called him an artard and all this other stuff and, this, that, and the other. And we can't, none of that happened at the beginning. That's when all this stuff usually breaks and the rumor mills start. Why are we here? That's all I'm saying. We need to I'm not saying anything is bad or good. I'm just saying we need to verify the information. It's important to verify the information, not pass it off as fact. So let's get back here and listen to this, because to be honest with you, this sounds pretty factual to me. And I want to know, where's the receipts? Where did that allegation come from? Do you hear that? She's sitting there saying when he told the teachers at school that he was sleeping in the garage. Oh, you can't hear it. Sorry. Let's go back. Sorry about that. Let me go back. There. We'll start here. Sorry about that.
Out of his room, because he said, I'm sick of smelling piss.
You guys can hear that, right?
And put it in the garage. When Sebastian was talking about how he sleeps in the garage at school.
Where does she get that? She's speaking this as fact that he actually, you guys can't hear? You still can't hear? I hear. Okay, yeah, because I didn't have it on the right screen when I first started playing it. But that sounds pretty factual. Let's go back again. I want you guys to hear this from the beginning, because she didn't say this is what's being alleged. She's speaking that this is factual information. And we have no corroboration of any of these things that are coming out of her mouth. And I'm not trying to be mean to her. But this has caused social media to turn on its head. And we need to get to the bottom of it.
It has to do with the mattress.
Let's go back a little more.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Now, the CPS engagement was not because of the belt whipping.
Mm-hmm.
It actually,
and we know that. Why? Because it's been corroborated.
actually has to do with the mattress. All right, Chloe, this is a lot.
Yeah, this is.
So Chris took his mattress.
Now, Chris took his mattress. That to me is telling people that this is fact. I'm sorry. There has been nothing to substantiate any of what that neighbor said to date. Now, if there is, put it out there. If there's corroboration to any of these aspects of these most recent allegations, they need to be corroborated and put out there. Aw, hey, Wolf, it's okay. It's Monday. Everybody's behind today. I agree, Lee. 100% no child should ever be treated like that. Even without this mattress or pressure cleaner allegation or anything like that, just the stuff that we've learned that we do know for a fact is true is pretty hard for us to swallow as is. And that's why I'm saying, we need to be cautious. These are really harsh things that this neighbor said. Something that I would have, believed that a CPS call would have been open on. And there's none. There's only this teacher, the teacher call-in one. And she even acknowledges it. The teacher called in. But she's saying what they called in. Nobody has told us why the teachers called in to the Department of Children and Family Services. We don't know. Chris won't tell us. Katie won't tell us. Sebastian's not here to tell us. The teachers aren't telling us. So, in the Department of Children and Family Services aren't telling us. So how do we know what Sebastian told his teachers? Who's corroborating that? And people are passing that information off as fact. How can you corroborate that? We don't know anything about child cases, anything about family law cases. They have confidentiality because of the age of the children. We have no way of fact-finding any of the Department of Children and Family Services allegations. None. No way. No way, Jose. Have no way.
Sebastian's out of his room because he said, I'm sick of smelling piss.
She's very adamant that this is what happened.
And put it in the garage. When Sebastian was talking about how he sleeps in the garage at school, CPS showed up and they actually...
She just sat there and said that when he told his teachers at school about the mattress, they showed up. Who corroborated with Brooks that they were called in for the mattress and not some other abuse? What if he told his teacher, my mom or stepdad said they were going to throw me in the garbage? What if it was that? I mean, we don't know what it is. Could it have been the mattress? It might have been. But I don't like it might have been in me saying that it happened. Because it might have happened. It doesn't mean it did. Not unless someone at school told someone in the neighborhood. But again, that's that we have to rely on whoever they told to say, oh, that the teacher told me. Okay, well, how do we know the teacher really told them or told her? You see, that's where it starts getting in the weeds because we have to have corroboration. If a neighbor was told this from a teacher, then maybe it needs to be corroborated by a teacher, the teacher that made the statement off the record. And she could say, we spoke to a unnamed source that is close to the school that has corroborated this information. I haven't heard Brooks say that. I haven't heard Brooks say anything about corroborating any of the facts in this. Even in her second video, I don't hear her saying we need to look into this, or we have looked into this, or we have verified this, or anything remotely to investigating the allegations. Exactly. Yeah, secondhand information. So that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying these allegations aren't true. I'm not flip-flopping. Like, I got comments in here that literally said I'm flip-flopping. I am not flip-flopping. I am still the same bullhorn Betty I was yesterday as I am today. I'm just simply saying, you know what? Tony Mathis made a valid point. He made a valid point. And we have to look at that. Why now? And we're being told that these calls came in and people are saying, oh, what they called? They called the Department of Children and Family Services. Really? Because the only thing I know is that a teacher called. This is the first time I have ever heard of any neighbor in that neighborhood calling because, let's face it, from the beginning of this case, we heard the neighbors had no knowledge of any type of abuse coming from that home. That was what was told to us at the beginning, which is what led us to believe that Chris has this facade, right? This facade about him that makes people want to, that he has to be this important person, that he has this facade where he needs to look like he's got his stuff together. That's the kind of personality he had at the beginning, and it was corroborated by the neighbors saying we didn't know any abuse was going on in the neighborhood. And these are the people that we could see their face. Like they had no problem getting in front of a camera with a microphone in their face and saying we're grieving because we're so scared that we dropped the ball as a community. That's what one of these neighbors said. We feel that we dropped the ball of the community because we had no idea that there was possible allegations of abuse coming from this home. That's what they said. I don't give Katie and Chris the benefit of the I don't like them. I'm absolutely do not like them. Just because of their behavior. I don't give them the benefit of the doubt, but I do just try to stick to the facts. And again, I was hook, line, and sinker in this until Tony shook me back into reality and said, wait a minute. And when he said it, I'm like, I nodded my head with him in agreement. Yep, you're right. And so as immediately after that live ended, I decided to do a live and come here and say that abuse allegations may be false because I wanted to make sure that the audience out there had the true factual. I understand that talking about these abuses and talking about the mattress and the pressure cleaner and having hours upon hours of lives that generate revenue for that creator is good, for that person. I understand these saucy allegations are good for business. I'm not here good for business. I'm here because I'm an advocate for these cases. And at the end of the day, I do not like Chris. I do not like Katie. I absolutely believe that they did something with their son until proven otherwise. However, I like to point the finger at them with actual factual information. And when we start going on these tyrants, when we have a call in from people that are talking about unsubstantiated facts, and then that creator does another live, further, dissecting everything that neighbor says without doing one scintilla of fact-finding, or if she did do a scintilla of fact-finding, failing to acknowledge the fact-finding she did to corroborate that information as true. Because I work very hard here, and so far, I have not been able to corroborate what that Department of Children and Family Services call was about. And that was after me reaching out to people that have been associated with the Tennessee Department of Children and Family Services. You guys know I did that about a week or so ago. And really fine-tuning and getting some information on the processes of the Tennessee Department of Children and Family Services. Did Brooks do that? These are legitimate questions because let's face it, Brooks' statements, this whole thing has turned social media on its head. And everybody is peddling that these things happened as fact, yet not one person has provided me a second person to corroborate this information, let alone a third person. So until we get that second and third person, folks, you guys cannot be passing this information around as fact. It is not factual information. It's not. And even if this is the truth of that neighbor, and he truly believes that to be fact, doesn't make it fact. We need the information corroborated, period. And if it's not corroborated, we need to be saying things like alleged abuse. We need to be informing somebody that has a platform like that and taking these allegations and peddling them as fact is really upsetting for me. And then to have people attack me for questioning this is also BS. Because let me tell you, I'm the most questioned person here on YouTube when I come with a case. And let me tell you, if this came on my channel, you bet your ass every single person on social media would be tearing this apart. But because it's on Brooks's channel, we gotta be so, no. What fact finding should she do to these allegations? And I want to know. And if you can't answer those questions, please sit down until somebody can. I'm done with the conversation of this mattress and this pressure washer. People need to quit saying it's true until they can corroborate the facts. And that's plain and simple. It's plain and simple. You don't have to like me, but you know I'm right. You know I'm right. Let's keep listening. By the way, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you. Don't forget to tell all of our beautiful mods, thank you for making your experience here in our chat a wonderful commentating experience. We do welcome all viewpoints. We believe that we don't like people parroting everything we say because it doesn't make for good or healthy debate. We like to debate the facts of these cases. And so it's all opinions, all perspectives are welcome. The only request that we have here on the Bullhorn Betty channel is that you don't be a Richard and you keep your stuff clean. We know that some of this stuff is emotional, and like even me, I know that this is the way it goes, but you know what? I have to listen to my mods and their perspectives as well, because we all don't have the same thought process. Even when we're in line with maybe a cause of action, the other stuff that gets us there might be different from one person to another as well. So there may be several variations of one theory or two theories. So we're welcoming of all that, but we also want people to be nice and friendly with each other. You're not gonna agree 100. I think we need to get back to the times when we could agree to disagree, right? Lovingly, right? Lovingly agree to disagree. We don't have to be going to the mattress every time we have a disagreement on these cases. We can say, okay, well, here's one side and here's the other, right? It's just as simple as that. And that's where we are. All right, guys. So I've bent your ear long enough. We're already at 47 minutes into this show, and I haven't even opened up the phone lines. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines now. Make sure I'm not doxing anybody. I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines now. So if you guys would like to, talk about this, again, there's no need to be rude. We're having an open conversation here. And if you do know what Brooks has done to corroborate any of this stuff, please let us know, right? It might help us. Please let us know. For those that are not paying attention or not watching the screen, the telephone number is 724-249-6140. The first caller that calls in, you will have to wait so I can confirm that people can hear you. Thank you, JK. Thank you. This is Betty. Who is this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Betty, how you doing? This is Lee in your chat.
Lee.
I called you the other day. I'm from Virginia.
Yes, I remember you.
A lot of these creators are putting out a lot of misled information. But, the thing about it is, at least you are getting out, putting your boots on the ground, when you can, and you're making a difference.
I appreciate
so God bless to you for that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? Like, we all want Sebastian brought home, and if he can't be brought home, we want justice for him.
Exactly right.
And so when we hear these things, I don't feel like they've been corroborated. Do you feel like this information has been corroborated? Am I just being too harsh?
Well, I do know. I do. seen with Terry Lynn, she corroborated it, and as far as I know, she's about the only one that's confirmed it. But
Well, confirmed what? That the person lived in the neighborhood, or
well,
confirmed that these?
She actually talked with the call in, the people that called in. But as far as what they actually know, what goes on at home, I find that hard to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I want people to understand about the pressure washer part of it is, you can safely spray a child down with the hose from it, as long as they don't pull back on the handle really, really hard. And that'll shoot at a cutting type stream. And also the tips that you put in the pressure washers makes a big difference, because each one tips are colored, and they do a different part of the job.
Right.
But,
Yeah, I'm familiar with that because I have my pressure cleaner, and you got the white tip, the yellow tip.
People kind of understands them.
Yeah.
I find it very hard to believe that he would hit Sebastian with a full stream, hard stream, because I'm sure he knows how dangerous that could be.
Let me ask you, Lee, since you kind of have some information about this, is there more than one neighbor that corroborated this incident, or is this just one neighbor?
3. I heard it was 3. I've heard it was 3.
And Terry Lynn's the one that was able to corroborate that?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll reach out to her and see what she has to say.
Yeah.
Because if we can corroborate it, and I do trust, I don't see Terry Lynn intentionally thwarting.
And I was with Chris the other night, and he said at the beginning of the searches, or not long after the searches, around about that time, law enforcement and searchers was actually going out and putting bags of food with milk in it around in different areas in the woods, for him to hopefully find it and would eat it. But then they said, well, you know what, the milk is going bad, so we're going to start putting yoo-hoos in the bags.
Mm-hmm.
So, I kind of want to know if they're actually still doing that when the searchers go out, which...
I didn't even know that was happening. That was really smart. That was really sweet of these people to do that.
He told that himself, if you'll listen to the full interview.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was pretty cool, but I'm wondering now, are they possibly still doing that, which might say that he may still be locally, or is it a waste of time to do that?
Mm-hmm.
But anybody out there looking, please leave the bags alone, because that's for Sebastian.
Yeah.
But I think a whole lot more is going to come out this week, and I really hoping the information about that one picture that that's been put out, is that Sebastian, and because everybody really wants to know about that, because, and I'm kind of upset with law enforcement not telling self, and also letting the public know, because you take a lot of the people that's out actually searching, do they still need to search?
Well, what's kind of funny, Lee, is that you're saying that, but I even brought it up on my TikTok show this morning as to whether, is it possible that they're slow walking this because it's taking people away from attacking the parents and focusing on trying to find this lady and this kid? Are they slow walking this because it's relieving them? I
think the lady is a waste of time, in my opinion, because she could be anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin, Clutch of Pearls, he went up there yesterday or Saturday, I think it was yesterday, up to the place, and he said he couldn't find no cameras outside, but there were cameras inside, but he said he couldn't find no cameras on the outside, but I'm sure they probably were. He just, don't know where they are.
Yeah, and not only that,
but he couldn't see none visibly.
But it looked like they were walking toward the store, so I'd have to think that they went inside the store.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, but I think it's going to come out one way or another. I think it's going to come out either yay or nay.
Yeah,
and it should, because people are taking their time, which is commendable, and still searching for the little fella.
Mm-hmm.
But if they know something, then they should say something, so people won't waste their time doing it, especially if they know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a waste of time if you actually, if you're looking for him, but if they know something, they should say something.
Mm-hmm.
you know, because people coming from all around just like yourself. You know, when you get a chance to go there, you're looking. That's your time. You know, and I just hope something comes out, you know. I mean,
do
I'm like
too.
everybody else. I want him found.
What do you think? Why do you think you know, typically in missing person cases and even in criminal investigations, we have law enforcement you know, keeping the community apprised. I mean, there is a missing 15-year-old
Right.
boy out there, and if they believe this 15-year-old boy is not out there, they probably need to enlighten the community.
Well, I think they're trying to vet everything because, you know, it could be it's going to turn into a criminal case, whether it's against CP or KP or whomever, you know. But what I worry about is if they don't help them say something, you know, something might actually happen to Sebastian, you know, and that's the sad part. You know, if they know something, go do something about it, say something, you know, so nothing will happen to them. If they got a chance to find him and get him, they should be on it pronto.
Oh, I agree.
I know if it was my son, I'd want to know. I mean, they'd have to lock me up or tell me something because I'd want to know. That's my child, you know.
Yeah, and
you know, when I almost had my son taken from me when he was 5 years old, and he's 38 now. So I kind of really feel for that. You know, my son was almost abducted from a store right in front of us.
Wow.
So when he was 5 years old, yeah. So this is what really gets to me about this case, you know.
Well, Nick Barris
But,
did
you know,
write
when
back.
I find out,
Yeah, he did write back
when
yesterday.
I find out something, I'll let you know. Whatever. I sent you a message yesterday on your number. I was watching Cluminati, and her live went off. You know, and said because of, you know, not going to community guidelines. So I don't really know what happened with that.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to tell you guys is that there's been an attack from all platforms. So they have a crew of probably paid people going in here and trying to disrupt any creators that are talking about this case. So I'm just going to tell everybody, keep it clean, so you don't get hit on any side, because there's definitely, I can tell you that my account on TikTok, something happened this morning. So there is, and that was for me just repeating what we heard that neighbor said, you know, how he said it was Katie's retard.
Right.
And it was just a statement that he said that I had said. And so they, one of the people in there that have this, you know, that obviously were looking for something to take my account with, ended up flagging the account. And so I'm in an appeals process, but it's only going to be down for 3
most
days.
people that I've been listening to just, instead of saying that, they just say the R word. Or, you know.
Well, see, the reason why I couldn't do that is because everybody, when I say the R word, they think it means, you know, grape without the G. So I'm saying R-tard now, you know, so that doesn't happen again. But still, I mean, it was a statement. And the only way it got reported is because some idiot reported it. Like, we're talking about a 15-year-old kid in abuse allegations, and you want to report over something so stupid. These people are fucking idiots.
I've got two grandsons that are autistic. And they'll be 8 years old. So I've actually learned a lot listening to everything about autism myself. My daughter, she's been trying to explain a lot to me and all like it, which I didn't understand fully, but now I understand a whole lot more by listening to, you know, the YouTubers and what things people say in chat. So I've learned a lot myself because of that, you know, but I feel really, really sorry for this boy, and I want him home so bad. No matter who he goes back to, his mother or self or whomever. We want him
above this ground, breathing, all fingers, all toes, happy, healthy, you know, whatever he went through, he can get over. I get, absolutely.
I don't believe he's, you know, he's gone. You know, I don't believe that for a second. I believe he's still out there.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of finding who, what.
How do you think, you know, it always comes back, and maybe I asked you this the last time you called. I can't remember because, you know, I do so much. But how do you think somebody would have come to get him? Because this is the problem that's really enabling me from getting there, is because he was sheltered. He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't run away from home, you know, so how?
I firmly believed at first that, you know, they done something with him, both of them. But I don't believe that anymore. I don't. How, if he got passed off some, or he actually went out and somebody picked him up. I mean, that could have happened, but I don't know. I mean, this is truly a mystery.
Yeah, I agree.
But, the only thing I feel bad about, if it's true, is the abuse. The hitting of the belt several times on different occasions was bad enough.
To be honest
you
with
just don't do
you, the
that.
physical stuff for me was a lot easier to deal with than the mental stuff. And it came down to that whole, if he doesn't clean his room, we throw it all in a garbage bag and take it to the garbage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
that's
I'm just
crazy.
like, that is emotional.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, parents handle their disciplines and all differently, Myself, I was beat severely by my uncles when I was a child, on up till I was about 12 years old. And I don't recall my daddy or my mother ever beating me, ever. But my uncles did it.
Yeah.
And, and I went to live with my daddy when I was 12. And I started mowing grass and stuff like that. And I started taking martial arts. And so that helped me more than anything. But, no abuse like that. I never beat on my kids or anything. I got 3 and they all grown. And they've turned out to be good kids. You just handle things different. Of course, I'm 63, but back in the day, that's how we were disciplined.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
We were reared, but you know what? The people back in those days had respect for one another. You didn't hear the crap you hear today. Sorry.
Exactly. You're right. I mean, times has changed, but you don't have to beat on kids to get them to do. Like I say, you take things away from them that means the most to them.
I think there's a point when rearing is okay. Like I was deaf in my ear and I kept running out in traffic and, I got my butt beat, my parents almost saw me get hit by a car. I got my ass whooped.
As far as the internet goes, I kind of agree with his mother,
Katie,
and Chris, because the way the internet is, and if he's 15 years old, and it's been said he's got the mentality of a 10, 11-year-old, then I kind of agree with him on that, because the way the internet and all is today, is so many child predators out there. It's not funny.
Yeah.
But you got to give them a little bit of leeway. And monitor. Katie's pretty smart. When it comes to that stuff, because remember, she was like a technician in the Navy. She's pretty savvy on that stuff, well trained. And another thing too is, Chris was a counselor in the Navy. Now, whether he had took psychology or not, most likely he did, because he helped with the transformation of the enlisted come back into civilian life. So, he's a pretty sharp guy too. I noticed a lot of people try to use reverse psychology on him, but if he's taking psychology, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
He would be too smart for that.
Psychology is one of those
he said the other night.
Yeah, but psychology is one of those core college classes, though. I mean, you got to take a psychology or biology or some type of class like that. I personally took psychology 101, 202, and I can't remember what else. When I was in college to get some.
He said the other night that the Clues interview or whatever was probably going to be his last one for a while. That he said he was going to go dark. So I don't know if that has anything to do with Tony. I don't know if that has anything to do with Tony, or he's just not going to do any more, interviews or call-ins like he's been doing. But kind of knowing Chris a little bit now, I almost find that kind of hard to believe.
It's kind of hard to believe, but it does sound like, now again, this is up for speculation. It's not corroborated by my ability, but I heard that they were getting visited by an attorney almost daily at their home.
Yeah, well, he hasn't lawyered up yet. He said that. He hasn't lawyered up yet.
Well, he hasn't lawyered up yet, but he still has a lawyer that's been visiting his home almost daily.
Right. Well, I'm probably wondering if that's, setting up cases to come after YouTubers, for, false, slander and stuff like that.
Well, actually, he's
So,
considered a because of the nature of this case. Yeah, even AI has
right.
deemed him, a public person. So he's going to have a little bit of a more of a challenging thing, and he does not want to sue people because
Right.
it opens him up for discovery. Because some of the things I do to try to get people to sue me,
Mhm.
so I can get into their discovery, and a lot of people won't sue because it allows us to now look into the allegations.
Right. Well, hopefully, the attorneys are telling him that, and he shouldn't really waste his time doing that no way, because like I say, it's all allegedly when it comes from us anyway, unless we know facts.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
the
I'll do
things I'm
things
saying is things I've actually heard him say it.
Yeah, like even with
I
BJ
think so.
and Leilani, I because I wanted to know what was going on in their house, and so I was actually pushing for them to sue me, and they didn't.
Well, I know he said that he said it wasn't off the table as far as, allowing Tony to represent them as well too, as far as, being a spokesperson.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't think they need one. I don't, because
Right.
everything I've heard so far about Tony is not good. I knew I wouldn't hire him or
Well,
get him
in
or
all
whatever.
fairness, why? Because you heard about some past stuff. I've been arrested, I don't know, I have to say 14,
Right.
15 times.
Well, I
I've
have
been
too.
convicted of, 2 DUIs. I've
Right.
been, in a violation of probation for one of the DUIs for an altercation with a boyfriend, whatever.
Mhm.
That was 20 something years ago. Now that has been touted all
Right.
over social media as why I can't be a true crime commentator because of my past. Now I have to think that my ability to
Right.
do this job is pretty good, whether or not I have a horrible background or not. And I have to look at that for Tony, because what I heard from Tony last night, I loved, to be honest with you, Lee. I loved his plan. I loved his demeanor. I loved how he kept a calm, cool, collective mind. I felt like he answered the questions. I really felt he was, in my opinion, beneficial.
Right. Well, hopefully it will work out, and hopefully all three of them will get on board.
I pray to God.
And it'll work out for him, and Sebastian will come home.
Yeah.
And that's all everybody wants, for this child to come home.
Exactly.
And found.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want him found the other way. I want him found healthy, hopefully happy, and he can go on with a good life, because God knows, if all this is true, he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
Even on both sides. One creator put out, I think it was Nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
She put out this video, or she didn't put it out, but she pulled it up, where this one person went in and pulled up all the bad stuff on Seth, divorce information and what he was accused of by Katie and all like that. It was pretty damaging stuff.
Well, I agree with that.
Even
This is a
abuse.
parent. With Seth, he's a parent of a missing child. But with the people that are trying to help, I mean, these people aren't being paid. They're doing this from if they're not getting paid,
Right.
and not only that, but even if they were, what difference? Who cares? Is he giving?
And
a
a girl
benefit?
called him last night on T-Rev that works, it's on Seth's team and all. And she said that Heather has not quit. She's just on a download for right now until she's needed. She's still there if she's needed.
Yeah,
It
and I
hasn't
think that
fired.
poor girl went through stuff that nobody should go through just for trying to cover a case. I mean, they had half-naked photos of her.
Right.
That is.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm absolutely serious.
Oh,
I
wow,
saw
that's
them with my own eyes.
That's not right.
And
I hadn't seen that or heard that.
and
Especially someone that's like you. You out there trying to help. Your past shouldn't be brought up.
Yeah.
You're trying to help.
Right. And so is,
Simple as that,
in my
like
opinion, so
JLR.
is Tony. So
He's got probably the worst past of anybody out there.
yeah.
But he's still trying to help.
Yeah.
He pulls out a lot of good stuff. Whether you like him or you don't like him, at least he's trying to help.
Yeah.
I don't agree with his past, because it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
At first I was like all crazy about it. And then my son pulled up his past. Oh my God, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
So, I kind of changed toward him on account of that, but at least I give him the benefit of the doubt. He's still out there trying to help.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to.
He didn't have to, and
You
not
know,
only that,
anybody's trying to help
but I agree
to
that
do it.
he's helped. If nothing more, he's given Seth a break.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, and the thing was, you know, things coming out about Self is trying to get sympathy and funds because of his injury. I've got the exact same injury he's got right now. He's got an L4 and L5 disc protruding, which, you know, affects his shoulder. I've got an L4, 5, and 6. So I know what he's going through. I do, and it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts.
It hurts. They said because he pulls out his wand and massaging his shoulder and all like that. You know, that's just a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
You know, the man is hurting. I know because I'm going through it myself right now.
Yeah, we got some people. I had
So,
neck surgery
yeah.
myself. I know it's an uncomfortable stuff. We've got people. One of my mods just had back surgery, so it's definitely not a
Right.
comfortable situation. But Lee, I appreciate all
Well,
of
I'll-
your insight. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
very much for calling in, and please call back.
Yes, ma'am. Glad to do it.
God bless.
And God bless you and your child. Thank you, sweetie.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye.
So I don't think anybody here is saying that these allegations can't be true, but they also can be false. And that's what we're trying to point out. This is Betty.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Oh, is this Turkey Man?
It is.
Oh,
How you
Turkey
doing?
Man's up in the chat. I said the F word. I'm sorry.
I overlook it. It's beyond me. You need to look at.
Well,
There's a higher
Turkey
power
Man,
than
oh
me.
my gosh, I'm blushing here. It's so great to hear from you. I saw your text message yesterday, but to be honest with you, I haven't even had a chance. I haven't even come up for water or air.
Well, it's been crazy, and I've been trying to get time to catch up with you, but I've tried to. It's been hard for me to keep up with the two different channels you got, and so I'm a
Just pay
subscriber
attention
of
to this
both.
one. That other channel was built because they were trying to take this channel. So we're just going to,
Try to do this channel here.
Yeah, so we have that one. I've been putting stuff on it because I'm using that kind of as my members channel. So people that don't want to be over here with all these people chatting, they can kind of just watch their thing
Right.
and chat amongst the members. So I keep it open for that.
Okay. Well, anyhow, I just wanted to say hey to everybody. I have been really, really busy. A lot of things going on, and need prayers from all the coffee club members and coffee beans out there. But I wanted to kind of catch up with what's going on with the Sebastian. Could you give a Reader's Digest version of what the young man's day was like?
Okay.
What a normal day for him was like.
To be honest with you, you asked what a normal day for him was like, and we've never gotten a straight answer from Chris or Katie as to what a normal day looks like in the world of Sebastian Rogers. So I don't know what a normal day looks like, but I can tell you what happened the day before he disappeared. So he obviously was reported missing on February 26th, but everything kind of comes back to February 25th. So we don't know what happened up until, I don't know, when they decided to leave to go to BJ's. So we have no morning stuff other than a fun fact that she made her son breakfast. And then they get up, they go to BJ's because he needs snacks. He has a colossal popcorn. They end up coming home to put the snacks away. We don't know how long they were home, but then they went to a bowling alley to either bowl or play video games or both. And then after that bowling, they went to the steakhouse. They left the steakhouse, according to people, around 6:30, got home about 6:40. Around 9 p.m., Sebastian went to bed. His mom said she heard a thud at 10. She didn't check on it, but she asked him if he fell out of bed. He told him no, and she said, I don't care what you're doing, go to bed. And she went to bed at midnight. She wakes up at 6, and when she wakes up at 6, Sebastian is gone. And so everything from that point on has been basically a crapshoot. The parents' behavior looks sus, but there's no direct evidence linking anybody to any foul play related to this case. So that's really the Reader's Digest version of this case in a nutshell.
What's a normal day at school? I mean, what does that consist of?
Don't know. They've never told us.
I think that's the key. That gets you could, if you have no what you normally do, then you have no playbook.
Yep. And those are the questions, and I actually went over because I have a whole sheet of questions here for them. It's like all this down here, and all this right here of questions. And one of those questions are, what was his daily routines? And I feel like that should have been asked up front, but still 2 months later, we don't even have the basics of Sebastian.
Well, what is the parents' normal play day to day?
Good question.
What?
They can't respond because it's an ongoing investigation, so they are not giving us any timelines other than what Katie gave us for the night before. That's what Chris Proudfoot keeps saying.
I think that's the key, because that was the first thing that comes to my mind. Okay, what is a normal day for this young man, and who is his friends? Whom does he really call friend? Who does he talk to?
Well, we do have answers to that. So, according to his parents, he doesn't have friends.
Is that? Well, we don't know that because we don't have a timeline. We don't have a day-to-day.
Yep, that's exactly right. But that's what they said in their very first interview, that, he doesn't really have any friends because he's kind of in your face and in your personal space, and it's off-putting, according to Chris Proudfoot.
Well, who does he interact with?
Good question.
And those things, I mean, those, how do you answer where he's at when you don't answer these things?
Absolutely. And also with the stuff, and they do give us a little bit of information. Like I said, they said that he didn't have friends, but they won't tell us, like, we know he goes to school around, I don't even know what time he goes to school, but the only thing we know is that they rise around 6 a.m. every single day, every single school day. They rise around 6 a.m. to start getting ready for school. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, his school doesn't start until 9 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but you're right, because one of the things is I didn't know what the family routine was. I didn't know if this weekend was normal or if it was out of the, if it was something that was spontaneous that particular weekend. You brought up a good point, like, what is his routine at school? That wasn't on my list. And what is the routines of the family? That wasn't on my list.
Right. So when you look at all that, I think you will find a puzzle answer to the puzzle. The pieces will fix in a little more clear, because if you have a norm, then you know what's abnormal.
Mm-hmm.
And so those things can be looked at. Anyhow, I just wanted to say hey to you. I want to let the opportunity somebody else get in.
Well, before you go, you know what? This is the first time we have had you on this channel in a while, and I can't allow you to leave without you saying a prayer for our victim and our channel.
Well, I'd love to do that. And also, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. This coming weekend will be Mother's Day. And also, Miss Betty, I do want sometime or another to get you to come to our church and give your story.
Yeah, and I want to, and I've been hit. You know what? Actually, you could pray for my car while you're there, because I'm still waiting for my car to get back. I was supposed to be in Tennessee literally 2 months ago.
Yeah, it seems like you're always just out of the area where I live, and it's kind of like we're a long state.
Yeah,
so
but you're kind of up there where all this stuff is going. Aren't you closer to Nashville?
No, I'm closer to Knoxville.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember looking it up once before, but I forgot.
Yeah, and there've been a time or two that you be in the Tri-City area, and I get excited about it. Well, no, that's a little further up, and I know. And always be something coming out. But
yeah. Well, I've got 4 cases in Tennessee, so I'm absolutely confident that as soon as my car is up and running, I will be in Tennessee.
Well, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Our gracious Heavenly Father, I ask that you would be with our sister Betty, Lord, and be with her channel and all the ones that listen and participate, Lord. Put a hedge of protection around them. Be with her mother this coming weekend and Mother's Day, Lord, and all the mothers out there. Ask, Lord, that you would be with the ones looking for these lost souls, the ones that's missing, Lord, that put a direction that they can be brought home. And if there's anyone that needs to answer to this, we know that vengeance is yours, that all things come through you, but that these that's breaking the law need to fess up to it, Lord, and whatever it may be. Lord, we don't know the answer, but we know that you do. We ask that you would just be with us and give us wisdom and knowledge, discernment forward on what we do and how we act, and that others can see you through us. And we just give you the praise and honor for everything, Lord, and these things we ask in your name. Oh, by the way, remember Betty's car. She is having trouble with her car, and we know that that's very important. Ask, Lord, that you would be with her and her channel and her direction, Lord, and we ask, Lord, just be with her. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for that, Turkey Man. I appreciate it. God bless you, and we all love
God
you.
bless
Thank you for calling in.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Aw, that was sweet. I can't believe I'm going to give it a round of applause. It was so nice to hear from Turkey Man. I needed that. Thank you so much. You're such a beautiful person. If you guys haven't seen Turkey Man, I'll be posting, actually, do I have it? I don't know if I can post it yet. I'll be posting it here shortly. But he has a channel. He does turkey hunting, and he also is a preacher at a church. So I'll post his stuff if you guys would like. Go over there and support him online for his online Sunday service. Thank you guys so very much. Oh, Nani, it's nice to see you, my love bug. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for that. So let me, the phones are back on for those that want to call in. We're talking about these allegations against Katie and Chris, and we found out from Lee that apparently Terry may have corroborated this information. So I'll try to reach out to Terry Lynn and find out what she was able to corroborate, and we'll clarify that stuff here on this channel. Oh, thank you, Southern Grammy. God bless you. God bless you. So that's kind of where we are. I'm going to keep the phones open a little more as we kind of go through some more of the information that was provided to us. I can't turn Brooks's thing back on because it'll stop the phone from ringing. But what we can do is just go over some of the talking points that were stated, and maybe you guys can help me find out if this information was corroborated. So the first thing that was stated, and it was right at the 30-minute and 28-second mark on this interview with the neighbor, the one that's public. Like the other one is her, the original copy of this is in her members only. So if you actually want to go into the members only and subscribe as a member, you can watch that the exact video in its raw format and exactly what transpired. So you may want to consider doing that, or just going and watching the unsubscribed version, which is basically her breakdown of that call that's in her members only file folder. So I'd like to know if Terry Lynn was able to corroborate with the friend of this neighbor that allegedly works at the Texas Roadhouse, whether in fact Chris Proudfoot was truly there 2 weeks before Sebastian disappeared. That's what this neighbor has stated. That seems like it's easy enough to corroborate. And I didn't hear whether or not that statement was corroborated, but if it's true, I'd like to know that it's been corroborated and it is fact. So that's one of the questions that I have. So it's related to that earlier visit of the Texas Roadhouse 2 weeks before Sebastian disappeared. Does anybody know whether that has been corroborated on here? By a show of one, I guess by, give me pink hands. That's the easiest thing. If you guys have heard where that this statement of the 2 weeks before that has been corroborated by the person that served them or somebody from the restaurant. Can you put a pink hand and tell me where that corroboration is so I can go review it? Because that's an important part, because Chris has been telling us for all this time, for 2 solid months, he has not been home since the end of January, beginning part of February, and he left and he hasn't been back until he got the call that his stepson was missing. So if we can corroborate that, that would be great, but I don't know if that's been corroborated yet. Good morning, Honey Dip. Oh yeah, it's been a while since we've seen your name in here. And I know there's other questions. If you guys have other questions about stuff and you put it in earlier and I did not answer it, please drop your question in now so we can go ahead and start answering some of these questions if for any reason, we need clarification on it. So that's my first clarifying, Mark. Maybe if somebody knows Terry Lynn personally, I'm going to have to try to reach out to her by email. If somebody knows a better way of getting a hold of Terry Lynn, I'd really appreciate it. So that's one thing I'd like to know, is if that's been corroborated. Oh, good. We got a call and maybe they might have some answers. This is Betty. Hello? This is Betty. Can you hear me?
Hi, Betty.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
Katie all day here. How are you?
Good, good. Who's this?
Good. I think I got through finally. I'm not sure what I'm doing.
That's
I'm
okay.
so glad to be here.
Who's this and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ohio.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, right?
So what do you have to contribute?
I just want to tell you, I appreciate that super late update. I realize you don't normally go that late, and I figured it was important. I did pop over and listen to that podcast. And, I want to say, it is the first time I do feel a renewed hope for calm heads, logic, hopefully a little bit more things, information flow, if you will, can get through to all of us. I had made a comment like, I think we're all just so desperate for any information on this poor boy, and they got us chasing our tails. I just feel that way. This ain't their first rodeo with the distraction and the drama and this and that. You can definitely tell. You can tell. And I'm not throwing hate. I'm just saying, I think a couple of your viewers might agree with me that you can see it. You can just see something ain't right.
Yeah, no, I think everybody's on that realm.
Yeah.
I haven't met even the people on the other side of the aisle. I haven't heard them say that they haven't done anything. Even on the other side of the aisle, they're just basically screaming there's no evidence of foul play.
Right. I mean, the amount of things that can be correlated is so few. And golly, what have we been doing the last month? All of us, and I know it's not one person or one podcaster or what have you. It's all of us. And I just feel a renewed spirit, to just let's come back from it. Okay, we made a mistake. Social media, a lot of people, a lot of cooks in the kitchen type of deal. And I think we've all come back to the light, if you will. So I appreciate that update last night.
Yeah. And I just want people to work together because, I think we're getting so far off course, this is what social media does. This is the secret sauce. In all fairness, this is what keeps these cases going for a really long time, is some of this controversy inside the cases. And it's going to happen because this is how social media functions.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
So it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So
I've tried to stay away from it all, and it's just too hard with cases like this. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah.
In the last 5 to 10 years, y'all, how many little kids have, it's just, I can't, is it statistically going up? Like, what is going on, And they all seem incredibly similar with the drop, sometimes the drop of the ball with Child Protective Services even. Considering the information that was, brought up with family members, and I can't fathom how Katie grew up. And I'm not sticking up for her, and nobody comes for me or anything, but it's like, we are all
Nobody come
human,
for you.
you know?
It's bad that you have to say that. I'm sorry.
No, and it's not from your viewers. I'm just saying, and this is how it goes.
Yeah.
This is life now, with everybody living the way we all kind of were pushed into it a little bit more with the pandemic and everything. And now I just think we got to stay on track. There's too many. Isn't there just 2 children from that same state that are missing, correct?
There's 4. We've got 4.
Oh, Lord.
We've got Summer Wells. And these are just the ones that we've been covering. There's more. But we've got Summer Wells. We've got Layla Santinello, Holland Snap, and now Sebastian Rogers.
Oh, what is going on?
Tennessee.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, I do appreciate you coming around and being our lighthouse of logic, I guess. It's hard not to get frustrated. So
Yeah. And I think that these allegations could pan out to be true, but based on what we've got here, I'm sorry. I'm not running with this ball.
No. Something ain't right.
Yeah.
But we don't have anything to actually go off of. But I think we can all agree something ain't right.
Something ain't right. Yeah.
Something ain't right.
Something
Amen.
smells.
So, well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
your
God bless
update.
you.
God bless you. Thanks for letting me call in. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So again, I want everybody back there, in the back to hear me. I'm not saying these allegations are not accurate. I'm saying we can't prove that they are right now, or we have no corroborating facts. Now, we did hear, I believe it was from Lee. It might have been from somebody else. I think it was Lee, that said Terry Lynn did corroborate something. And it might have been everything. It might have been just a section. It might have been a portion. So I would like to know, what was corroborated. Did we get the corroboration? Because it seems like the easiest thing that we could corroborate, really right up front, is that statement that Chris was at the restaurant 2 weeks prior to. Maybe if she knows the neighbor, maybe she can find out what friend works at the Texas Roadhouse and maybe get more of a defined date when he was there. Maybe she can let us know that it was this specific date. If she served him or he served him, then they should have some type of credit card receipt or something. So and I'm also unclear about the statement that he was there, because they said that Sebastian wanted to order something that was not on the menu, and Chris got frustrated and stormed out of the restaurant. Was that before they ate? Was it after they ate? Was this when they were ordering their main meal that he just said, "I'm not doing dinner"? Because even that, I have a lot of questions on, related to what transpired in that restaurant 2 weeks prior to Sebastian disappearing. And I think it's important that if somebody has that information or knows, what set Chris Proudfoot off, then I think that would help, for us to understand. But right now we're having a neighbor tell us a story for another person. And I don't like that. I like, I like firsthand information. And honestly, that's at least secondhand at minimum, that he was saying about that restaurant. The fifth wheel, the neighbor said that Chris would come home on the weekends and they would get a whole lot done around the house, and then he'd be gone again. I'm almost confident, because Chris has corroborated that. This statement here, I think, has been corroborated many times, but this neighbor implied that he basically comes home almost every weekend, because he later states down at the 42-minute mark that the only strange thing that weekend was that Chris didn't come home. And so we had been hearing rumors at the very beginning of this case that Chris would only come home when Sebastian was at his father's. This completely contradicts that earlier statement. So the earlier statement needs to be corroborated, or this statement needs to be corroborated. But we don't have, you can't have both. There are two statements that are totally contradicting each other, and people aren't clarifying this. So I'd like some information on that. The the threats, I agree with the neighbor. Like at the 52-minute mark, they basically said that they seen only one person driving around their neighborhood taking photos, that there's no real threat there, according to this neighbor. And I would like to know if that was corroborated by another neighbor or not. The sleeping in the garage, who saw this? Because it doesn't sound like this neighbor has a direct line sight into that house or into the garage. It sounds like this is a neighbor that's a few houses removed that has 6 cameras, and none of the cameras really focus on that on the Proudfoot home, according to this person's statement. So how much viewpoint does this neighbor have? And if Terry Lynn was there, could she describe what type of view distance from their house, what angle they're previewing? Is it the back side of the house, the side, the exact front of the house, the right side, the left side? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'd like to know the direction of the vantage point that this neighbor has to the Proudfoot home, to determine for myself what possibly this neighbor could see outside of that home, right? Because I would like to know if this person is, 3 doors down and can only see the back side door of this house, then them actually witnessing something. And I don't know if that's true. They may be the person directly across the street and has a front row view to everything Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. I don't know. But I think we should know, right? We are taking this person's testimony as true. Clearly, Brooks is taking it as true. She's hook, line, and sinker that these things happened. And I'm not saying that she's wrong. I'm just saying, where's the proof? People keep saying, well, what's the proof? I think there was somebody up here. I think I actually, I might have actually tagged it. Here, let me see what we got here. By the way, thanks, guys, for everybody that has contributed to today's show. God bless you for that. Did CPS corroborate that the belt incident was closed? Nobody has corroborated any of the CPS incidences other than Katie and Chris. But, and Seth has acknowledged that there was something there that he was not informed of. And I don't know if that's the belt incident from several years ago, or this most recent allegation that Sebastian allegedly told his teacher, and his teacher made the call into the Department of Children and Family Services. So I don't know. I don't think any of this has been. I don't know if any of this will be corroborated by a reliable source, because the Department of Children and Family Services, their go-to is confidentiality, right? That's their go-to. They don't want to be talked to. They don't want to turn over reports. They don't want the public looking at, they don't want the public being transparent on what they're doing to our children. And I'm going to say it just like that, because that's truly how I believe. That's truly how I believe. I think there's other ways that they can be turning that information over to us. They can be making these people's not have their social or their telephone or their names on there. They can assign them all numbers and refer to them as numbers, so they're completely anonymous to us, and we have the ability to review whether the Department of Children and Family Services are doing their job. They will not do it. Why? Because they can't scream confidentiality if they go to a number system. So I would like all of us from across this country to be getting into our politicians, our major politicians, our U.S. politicians for our states, and start demanding accountability from the Department of Children and Family Services. I have been on this drumbeat for 3 years. I have gotten nowhere. Why? Because we need 35 states to get on board. We have none for our children. Let me be clear on that. None. Not 1, not 2, not 3, none out of 35. So until the people in those communities start making this a top priority, our politicians will not. We haven't changed our interstate guidelines for our children since 1969. So if you wonder why this system is failing, it's because of us. It's because of me, and it's because of you. There's no other person to blame. Me and you are why these changes have not happened since 1969. Because if we were out there demanding them to be changed, our politicians would change them. we're not demanding any changes. Not loud enough, not hard enough. And until that day comes, we're going to be sitting in this mess right here for a really long time to come, because we've already been sitting in it since 1969. Interstate policies have not been changed. We are in 2024. We have technology we never even considered in 1969. So there's nobody to blame for these children advocacy problems but us. We are to blame. The public is to blame. The taxpayers are to blame. Because when we want something done, guess what? We collectively get it done, and we haven't gotten it done. This obviously hasn't been a priority for our country. Hasn't been a priority for our country. Let's keep going back. I'm going to put this back up. If somebody calls in, I'll switch it over.
Ask the neighbors, have you seen this? Help me out here, Chloe, because that's a lot for me to digest.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. It's a lot to even take in. Yeah, he asked, they asked other people, and they confirmed, and a neighbor we talked to confirmed that he was made to sleep in the garage.
A neighbor that they confirmed. That's what they say. A neighbor. How did you confirm it? Was a report filed? Did they call law enforcement when they saw the boy sleeping on the mattress inside the garage? Where is the corroborating information? You telling me you corroborated it doesn't make it corroborated, because I don't know what you consider to be corroborating, right? So we have one person, because it sounds like the person that called in, the neighbor, got the information from another neighbor. This person went to that other neighbor and confirmed that information. So there's no corroboration. There's no confirmation. You went to the source that made the statement. Who is corroborating that source's statement? Saying if that guy made those statements is not corroborating that statement as true. It's just corroborating that the neighbor stated it. Exactly, Katie. Exactly, Katie. It's not. I am not a Katie or Chris Proudfoot person at all. Who believes that I am on the side of Chris and Katie Proudfoot? Put a 1 in the chat if you honestly believe I'm on the side of Chris and Katie Proudfoot. If you truly believe it, then put it. But I can tell you, I'm on Team Sebastian. I could care less about Chris and Katie. I think I think that they've got a lot of secrets. But I've got to tell you that I try to be fair, and I want allegations. If they did these things, I want them corroborated. And I don't mean just going to the person and asking them, did you say this? Or what did you say? And what did you see? Who else saw this? Where did she do that? Did she say, who else can corroborate this? Who else saw this besides you? Can I speak to them? So again, I don't know what they did to corroborate it. She says she corroborated it and she fact found it, but she didn't elaborate on how she did that. And I wouldn't be so nitpicky if these weren't such salacious allegations. These allegations have turned social media on its head. And I think we need to be demanding receipts on this one. I'm not a receipts person. Everybody knows I am not a receipts person. But this, you're going to have to bring me a little bit more.
And he had heard him yelling about smelling piss, is his words. And, we all know that it was very cold there the night that he went missing. And think about the other nights leading up to that through the whole winter, that if he was made to sleep out there.
One of my mods actually brought up a point. One of my mods thinks that it's possible if the allegations of him sleeping in the garage, and I'm going to say if the allegations of him sleeping in the garage are true, because I don't know whether they're true or not, and I'm not going to be on the mantra of they're true until somebody proves to me that they're true, because these are major abuse allegations. But she believes if if the allegations of Sebastian sleeping on the floor in the garage, she wondered if it's possible that he got into the car and started it up for warmth or for just didn't have anything to do and wanted to go push some buttons. Could it be possible he cranked up the car and filled the garage up with carbon monoxide and lost his life that way? Anything at this point is possible because we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened, but I do believe that whatever happened would have had to have happened the night before as opposed to that morning, because the timing of that morning just doesn't bode with a lot of disposal opportunities there, is what I'm trying to say. And if there were opportunities there, they would have been closer to home and most likely he would have been found. So that's kind of where my mentality is going and kind of where I'm going with this point.
And what child who I would believe I would be scared in that situation to live with a man like that. And I could understand, if a child has disabilities and certain things that, accidents can happen if you're scared.
Sure.
If you're being mistreated, if you're being abused. I mean, if you didn't do that at Seth's house.
I'm 48 years old. I don't trust a fart.
Yeah.
But you trust this neighbor, and you didn't give us anything to prove the statements. I mean, this is, again, normally in all normal, I'm not a receipts person. But based on these allegations, I'm demanding receipts. You're going to have to give me a couple neighbors that saw this very public display of pressure washing, and how in the world that they saw this mattress in the garage with Sebastian sleeping on it. Because that's what it's going to take, right? I mean, they're saying that he was forced to sleep in the garage on the mattress. So who saw him on the mattress sleeping in the garage? Where's that person? And if that person saw it, what other neighbor saw it? I want to talk to that person. I'm sorry. I got questions. And hopefully, again, I don't want to say anybody, and I'm not, and I want to make that clear, I'm not saying anybody is being deceptive or wrong here. I'm just saying it's hard to take it as fact without the necessary receipts on this. And Chris and Katie have already, done a lot of reputational damage to themselves all by themselves. They already stink to high heaven with stuff that we know is absolutely 100% factual. We don't need unsubstantiated, uncorroborated abuse allegations to infiltrate this case as true if we have no corroborating facts for them. If they're true, let's get those corroborating facts to the public so we now know that it's true, so people like me can discuss them as fact. Because right now, I'm not taking Brooks's word for it. These are major allegations that came out of left field 60 days after this boy left, when all the other neighbors were saying we didn't see anything, we didn't know anything, and all this for the last 60 days, and now we have one or two neighbors coming forward. I want to believe the neighbors if these allegations are true, but they can't just come here with statements this long after it. Where's the report that they made with the sheriff's office? Where's the report that they made with the Department of Children and Family Services? You just saw an autistic boy sleeping on the mattress as punishment. You all acknowledge that you believe that is abuse. So when did you report this allegation of abuse to law enforcement? These are all the questions that I have that I hope get answered over the next few days. Maybe you guys can talk to Brooks or Terry Lynn. I'm going to try to reach out to Terry Lynn to find out how she corroborated this information and what she corroborated this information. So we're all in the know, right? We're all in the know. I know Terry's out there trying to work this. I know Brooks is even out here trying to work this. She's trying to bring stuff to everybody that's factual and correct. It's just that I'm sorry, you telling me that this huge breaking news is factual and correct. I'm just going to have to respectfully request receipts on this particular one. Okay, yeah. I'm not running anybody in the ground because and the people that are running this, in my opinion, all have past records. And for them to be sitting up on their platform and on their pedestal, saying that they should have a right to be able to come here on social media and do their thing, even though they have these horrible things in their past, but somehow this guy is not allowed to help this family because of his past. I call that hypocritical on our side of the street. And that we leave for the hate channels. So I'm sorry, let's clean that up. If we expect this stuff to be for us, we expect this to be for them. We are fair here. And quite frankly, this Tony Mathis, in my opinion, is doing a good job. I like his plan. I like that he's giving Seth a break. And I like the fact that he has a calm, cool, even head when he's answering these questions. It's not emotional. It's just cut and dry, the kind of stuff that Bullhorn Betty likes. The kind of stuff that Bullhorn Betty likes. So Katie says, if they slipped up with the mattress scenario, then somebody else had to have seen some. Exactly. They seem pretty well versed regarding these behaviors. Exactly. And he talked about, and the neighbor talked about the neighbor to the right of him not liking him, and the neighbor to the left of him not liking him. I would think those two neighbors probably have the most information on Christopher and Katie Proudfoot, but yet those are the two neighbors that aren't being questioned or going on here, or anybody's corroborating with them any of this information to be true. If it's not coming from those local homes right there at his house, it's hard for me to believe it true, because we know how people are. There's a lot of people that sit here and even me. I've been watching a show, and I'll get a call and the show's still running. I get off the call and I'm hearing something. It's like, oh, that happened? Holy crap! And I'm running to and posting it. Did you hear this? And I'm posting it in my mod squad, and they're like, that's not what they said. So people can actually misunderstand things as well. And I think we need to take this into consideration. Am I saying that we need to totally throw this out? No, because quite frankly, the history that we know for a fact to be Chris and Katie, this does bode in line with something that they may do. But again, I don't like saying that something is factual when it may have happened, when it could have happened, but it also could not have happened. That's not a fact to me. It's more of an opinion or a theory or speculative. So we just need to hone in on that. I'd like to, if they're going to say they're going to corroborate it, but don't want to, tell us the people that they corroborated with it through, they don't have to. They can say that they can say something like, we got this information, so I can't divulge this, but we did corroborate it with 2 additional neighbors, so we're confident enough to bring this forward. We got none of that. It was corroborated, but we don't know how it was corroborated. And I'm sorry, I don't, until you tell me how you corroborate your information, I don't trust the corroboration of your information, if that makes sense. So that's really all I had, because people were being kind of nasty in the comments section when I dropped this abuse allegations may be false, and talking about how I'm flip-flopping and how I'm a CP lover and all this other stuff and how wrong I am and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I want to clarify. I really don't care if you think I'm wrong or not. I think that these statements are highly improper whenever we don't have the scintilla of corroboration to attach to them, and we've got a main social media true crime content creator acting as if all of these statements have been 100% vetted and corroborated, and they have not. Period. Some of the allegations may have been corroborated, but I guarantee everything that person said has not been corroborated, and they are being passed on as fact. I have a problem with that in the true crime genre here on YouTube and on any other social media platform. All right, guys, that's what I got for you today. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming here and spending your time with me. We will be doing a lot more lives on this channel in the next few, I think the next 3 or 4 days, unless I can get my car up and running, and it's going to be coming back. And once it's fixed and coming back to me, we'll be in Tennessee. So I've already talked to the barbecue lady out there. It sounds like she's got it in with I can't remember the other, Tammy, I think is what it is. Maybe her name, I think her name is Tammy. I can't remember what her name is. So many people trying to help in this case. And I'm hoping I get to meet those beautiful ladies when I get out there, because even Terry Lynn, because she's been out there in the woods working her little, rear end off. So we just want, all I want is to make sure that the information that we're peddling is accurate. And if it's not accurate, we're letting people know that it's not accurate. I'm not peddling this pressure cleaner or this mattress until somebody can corroborate the damn information. This information has not been corroborated to my comfort level. Period. And I'm not running with this nonsense until somebody can. Is it there are allegations that it happened? That's as far as I'm going to say. There's allegations that there is a pressure cleaning incident and a mattress incident. Until somebody can give me corroboration, that means other people. If this happened, it was outside. There's neighbors that would have seen it. We should have more than one person. We should have the person on the right, the person on the left of him, the person in front of him. We need to have that. We can't just keep taking all this stuff and running with it. This is the shit that police are telling us they're getting sick and tired of. And here it's all over social media that this man and woman forced their child to sleep on a mattress in the freaking garage, and we don't even really know if that's true or not. But we're passing it around as if it is. Just saying. Just saying. All right, guys, God bless you. Take care. I'm not a CP or KP lover. We are still doing this case. We're still analyzing this case factually, and if I offended you with my commentary today, I'm sorry. But I want facts. Period. And these are not comfortable for me to sit here and state. And again, it wasn't until I had an opportunity to ask, this was my first opportunity to potentially corroborate this information. And so when I had an opportunity that was available to me to try to corroborate some of this information, the man made sense to me. And let's listen to what he said. I'll put it up here so you guys can see it out of his own mouth. Browser lost. Did I just lose audio? Hold on a second. It just said my browser lost audio. Give me a second. Oh, no, that's weird. Huh. You guys can hear me, right? It's saying my browser lost audio. I'll wait for a second before I do that, because I want to make sure that... Okay, so it might be this one. Let me just refresh this real quick. You guys can hear that, right? So let me go back here to where it is. This is what he said when I had an opportunity, and I did. When I have an opportunity to corroborate this information, I will try to do so. And this is the response I received when doing that. Oh, jeez. Okay, so that it truly is. That's what it was saying. It lost my connection. Okay, so let me do this. I'll just open up a new one. That's what usually happens when that happens. Can you guys hear this? Did you guys hear that? Here's. Can you guys hear that? You guys still can't hear that? Huh. Huh. All right, give me a second. Actually, you know what? Let me do this. I bet you it's down here. Hold on a second. whatever reason, I feel like it's here. It is. It dropped my speaker, dropped my output. Sure did. It dropped my output. Give me just a second. I'm gonna have to refresh and then we'll get back to this. All right, let me put this back up. All right. I think it's the system. I may have to go back to just normal speaker if I can't get it to work. And it's not going to work. Oh, never mind. There it is. I got it. It's my microphone. It's my microphone that just dropped. I can't stand Mac. I hate Apple products. I really do. I can't stand them anymore. I have more problems with Mac products than I do anything else. I'm going back to, as soon as I can, I'm going back to Google and Windows-based products. I can't stand this anymore. Nothing works with Apple products. Not without a shit ton of money, right? You got to buy everything designed. I'm done. I'm over it. So we're going to change out this because it keeps dropping my shit. Okay, so here, hopefully you guys can hear this. I don't know whether you guys can or not, to be honest with you, because the computer just does whatever the hell it wants to do. So there's that.
Comments if
can you guys hear that?
Wants to ask. I did see one actually earlier that I do want to ask that I think Bullhorn Betty was asking, which is at this point we've all been made aware of
perfect.
I'll call it alleged abuse that went on in the household. According, there are things that neighbors have said, things that Chris and Katie and Seth have said.
So there's been a lot, that they've all said. Neighbors, mom, dad, stepdad.
Do you know if there's anything happening or movement with that?
I don't have about any of that. I've heard rumblings, but
and we've all heard rumblings, okay? What we heard was a person that called into the show and told us their truth. If we know anything about this, if you have 10 people that witness a crime, and this is truth, and if you don't believe me, reach out to your local law enforcement, talk to somebody that you work with that's in law enforcement, they will tell you. If you have 10 people that witnessed a crime, you've got 10 different stories. They're not all the same. Yet they were all there witnessing the same crime. So even though I believe that this person is trying to be truthful, it needs to be corroborated because they believe it is true. It doesn't make it true and accurate and correct just because somebody believes it's true. Maybe they saw a mattress on the garage floor that fell over and just assumed that they must be putting their child on it 60 days after this event, like, oh, wow, we saw that mattress laying down. I bet you anything that they were punishing this boy. I bet you anything they were punishing this boy, right? So those are how rumors get started. And now I don't know whether it's true or not. But I'm not going to sit up here and say it is because I don't know. Nothing has come to me that states these allegations that we are hearing about the pressure washer or the mattress are true. Nothing. We have no pictures. We have no police reports. We have nothing but a word from one neighbor. And even if they say, well, this other neighbor out there, Terry Lynn Carop, well, then why didn't she put that online? You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to have receipts here because in a situation like this is so salacious. Somebody's either right or somebody's either wrong. But it can't be both. Just my opinion.
The only thing I'd say is that if you have a neighbor that's credible and a neighbor knows that a kid's missing, why on earth would a neighbor wait 60 days to disclose anything serious about Sebastian.
That's true.
I'm not saying it's BS, but I would be leaning towards it's BS because no normal person would wait 60 days to come forward with something like that. And
now I believe that. That bodes right in line with everything we've seen for the last several years here on social media. We all know that these salacious engagements, encounters, and stuff like that typically come out at the beginning as a leaked anonymous source that everybody's like, oh, they're lying, right? We never had any of that until now. We usually have something. We just don't, guys. So that's all I'm saying. You know, take it for what you will. Don't beat up Betty. I'm just the messenger here. I just want to make sure that we are fact-based. And right now, I can't say that these allegations are fact-based yet. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're not true. I'm saying they may be false. And guess what? They very well may be. But, hey, prove me wrong. Give me some receipts that I can say, we got it. Guys, this is bad news. It looks like these allegations are true. Right? We don't have that here. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, take it easy. Don't be sleazy. This is the Bullhorn Betty channel. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. If you got something out of this live, please don't keep me a secret. Share it to your friends. Share it on your favorite Facebook groups. And you know, help get my name out there. Help spread the word of Sebastian Rogers. We're going to be out there in the community whenever we can. I have not given up on this boy. I'm going to tell you guys that right up front. I have not given up on this boy, and this drama and chaos, I don't even listen to it anymore. And we just need to tune it out and stay focused on Sebastian. That's just my honest opinion. You guys are going to do what you guys want to do. I just really want you guys to be cautious, okay? And ask the questions. You guys are in these chats. Ask them for, you know, what did you do to corroborate this? Or, you know, it's not rude. And most people that do all this have no problem answering and saying, like, even when we did this anonymous girl for the Kylie Rodney case, Olivia and I had to blur out her face. We had to pitch her voice, but we had her corroborate everything. And while we blurred some of we were able to show that this person was where they said they were. And we were able to do it confidentially. We corroborated the information. We didn't just take the person's word for it. We talked to other people there that saw this person at the party. So we didn't come with just somebody's statement. We did the work necessary before we published that statement. And that's a little different because here was a call-in show. And so you can't control who you call in, but certainly once the call is over, you can engage in fact-finding to talk about the relevancy of what they discussed. And I just didn't see any of that, those receipts of, you know, corroborating the relevancy of those statements. And that's the key that's missing for me personally. So hopefully Terry Lynn can maybe do a live and explain what she did to corroborate it. Maybe Brooks can, you know, do another live. I think she'll be starting if she hasn't already started. Maybe she can just corroborate some or explain how she corroborated this information as true, just to kind of relieve the people like me that want to, you know, if it's true and we have corroboration, we want to make sure our audience knows that it's true. But if it's not corroborated, we need to know that too, so we can say, you know, allegedly, this is alleged abuse and stuff like that. So for now, I'm going to be on the mindset that we don't know whether this stuff happened or not. So from where I'm sitting, it's alleged. Okay, it's rumor. Until somebody can corroborate the information as true, we cannot take this as fact. We have a lot of other bad stuff on the Chris and Katie to take as fact. We have a mother that won't search for her son, a mother that goes out to a restaurant, a mother that leaves her home and goes 3.5 hours away to another state. We've got a mother that's sitting there getting on a motorcycle, trying to purchase a motorcycle, all the while her autistic son that depends on her for his every need has been missing for weeks, and she could have a straight face and go bike shopping. Trust me, these are factual information that we can corroborate. We don't need unfactual, unsubstantiated, uncorroborated information infiltrating this case. We've got enough bad stuff for them. That's all I'm saying. Corroborate the information. And Bullhorn Betty will be fine saying it. But this information is not corroborated for me. Okay? So take it for what you will. I hope I've enlightened you guys a little bit. I hope at least at minimum you guys got some new information that might be able to help you. Maybe you are looking into this case deeply as well. Maybe you need a starting point. Let's corroborate this. If you guys have some hands in talking to some neighbors, I know people, everybody's trying to help. If you are, let's start verifying facts. If you have a neighbor, if you have somebody in that community that's talking to you off the record or anything, let's start asking these questions to them. Let's start corroborating this information, because I truly think that this community does need to know the truth. Was he being abused? Were other people aware of it and failed to call it in? And was he failed by the system and the neighbors? I'd like to know that for a fact. So that's where I'm at. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. God bless you guys. You guys, I did a 2-hour live. Holy smokes. And it was in the morning. Who knew? Who knew Bullhorn Betty had it still in her? I'm just joking. Stop it. All right, guys, you guys have been amazing. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and kind to one another. I hope I didn't offend anybody with my commentary today. But, we just really, at the end of the day, I really just want hard, cold facts related to this case. I don't want any more speculation. We speculate on the facts. Don't get what I'm saying with speculation wrong. I just don't like speculating on facts that haven't been substantiated or rumors. I don't like speculating on rumors. I like speculating on facts. Different type of speculation. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't like talking about crap I know does not and will not happen. Okay? And I'm sorry. I know some people, they like all these weird things. It doesn't inspire me. Okay? And it takes a lot of time to talk about a lot of stuff that doesn't matter in a case. So before we roll out of here, I just want to again say thank you, Cassie, for your information. And I hope I didn't offend you. But I do not believe, I believe that the neighbor did call into one of her shows, because I remember hearing her say something when she picked up the phone. I remember hearing that. I wouldn't just, I don't know. So I'd like to clarify that, but it's, to be honest with you, it's not worth the energy to clarify, because it's not really a point of contention. It doesn't really matter whether the neighbor called in or she called the person, and it doesn't matter whether the neighbor was vetted to be truly who he was. It matters about whether the information that neighbor stated has been vetted and corroborated. Thank you, Gazelle. Betty is about facts. Love you. Standing people is dangerous. Slandering people is dangerous. We got JK. Good morning. Appreciate your objective insight. Linda Whitman. Thank you. Our beautiful Miss Robin gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, please don't forget to tell Miss Robin thank you. And of course, our support from Nani brings Sebastian home, as well as Southern Grammy. Thank you for all you do. So guys, I just want to thank you for spending your morning with me this Manic Monday, and we will see you throughout the week. God bless, and see you soon. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly, God bless our victims.